Good morning, Flagstaff in Northern Arizona. This is Russell Woods. I'm hosting for Danny Neal, who's out today, and welcome to another edition of Fifth Quarter Arizona. But joining me is a familiar face. You know him all around town. He does this show every week too. How you doing, Coach Jay?
Morning, Russell. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing spectacular. Um, I'm still working my tail off, still driving the mail truck in North Phoenix and still drinking my water and saying my prayers because it's still 115 degrees down here.
Yeah, y'all haven't had much relief at all from that weather. We starting to get these monsoons and not necessarily even the monsoons, but these thunder and lightning storms are getting us a little bit right now too.
Mhm. Yeah, we've been getting the thunder and the lightning, but still no rain. I think we've gone like 150 straight days with no rain.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was like that. I thought it rained down there before, but so y'all haven't had no rain really in a while, huh?
Well, measurable rain, it's
Okay.
whatever little rain that they get at Sky Harbor Airport, and however they measure, rains into a bucket, and however much it goes up. Uh, no measurable rain in I believe 155 straight days.
Wow. Well, look, what you got to look forward to is some of the most gorgeous weather in the country here come the fall and winter months. So it's gonna get better.
That's what I tell people. We'll deal with 5 months of this so we can have 7 months of 80 degrees while everyone else is freezing and digging under the snow and the black ice and everything else.
Yep, exactly. So and just in case my daughter and her husband are watching, I'm gonna say it's only about 4 months of heat. You get about 8 months of gorgeousness. So
What, is she moving to Phoenix?
no, we're gonna see. That's the hopes for the family and everything. I know this is a location that they're looking at, and so don't want the 115 to be a deterrent. So
That's, well, I mean, we had a whole month of it, and we're having most of this month of it, and hopefully this is the week it starts cooling down. And when I say cooling down, it gets down to 108.
well, that's better than being, I guess, 95 degrees and 98% humidity because you can't even breathe in that and you just wet all the time. That's miserable weather.
I know. I lived in Mississippi for a short time, and yes. I gotta ask you real quick before we start the show, because everyone's talking about flag football, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm don't hold me to it, but I'm really gonna try to get to your first game, which is August 29th at Marcos Deniza.
Yep.
How are your girls coming along?
Good right now. I mean, it's new for everybody in terms of many of these girls, or most all these girls, haven't played flag football. We have one, maybe two that have played. No, probably about two that's played football at some capacity, and so it's just learning. You got soccer girls that are used to, using their feet and not being able to use their hands unless they're goalies. You got, basketball girls that's not out in the elements on the outdoors and in cleats, and so it's coming along pretty good though. We really picking up on formations defensively and offensively. We're averaging at practice probably 24 to 25 girls. When everybody gets there, we should have about 28 or 30. And so chose not to do any cuts at this point. We're keeping everybody, and we're gonna learn, we're gonna grow, we're gonna push, and we're gonna have some fun. That's gonna be the big thing. We'll figure it out as we go, but we are gonna have some fun.
Are any of your Lady Eagles gonna be playing?
We do have some of the Lady Eagles out.
Because I know that some of them, and it works for Coconino as well. They'll do cross country in the off season to keep themselves in shape. Same
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah, a few of them do. A few of them will do cross country. But we have out of the 30 that's there, we may have 10 or so that play basketball. Could be higher, but we had some that played on the varsity level, some that played on JV with us, et cetera, et cetera. But we do have some girls that are in the Lady Eagles basketball program playing in the football program right now for flag.
Good. I'm excited. It's a whole new chapter of sports in Arizona, and I'm glad Flag High is jumping right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll definitely be interesting. We got 7 home games this year, 5 road games, and so we definitely gonna look forward to that. And this time of year, I know you start getting excited and revved up because we got the tackle football coming up. What are your thoughts on this season in the tackle football?
Well, the teams have their scrimmages this weekend.
Hmm.
Coconino's going to be at Snowflake today. Um, the Flag High scrimmage was supposed to be yesterday, but it's going to be tomorrow against Havasu. I'm looking for. I mean, we got new coaches.
Hmm.
Uh, we got a great young quarterback at Flag High, Chase Brown. We've had him on the show.
Yeah.
Um, Coconino's offense, which has been religiously running the ball the last few years, is going to open it up a little bit. I'm excited. This is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I know, like I was telling Coach last week, fun fact, my uncle's high school is coming up. I want to say it was September 1st. And so, we got a school from Nevada coming up to play a school from Flagstaff. So that should be fun and interesting as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's the first time since the '70s that one of our teams has played an out of state team. I believe Flag High was playing Gallup in like 1978. I think that was the last time.
Yep, yep. And I mean, that's wild. That's a great, great fact that only you can bring. So that's good stuff. Well, hey, why don't we go ahead and get into it a little bit? We got some special guests here today. Let's go ahead and have you bring them on, and then let's get into it.
Uh, we're going to be talking Special Olympics today. And then to explain Special Olympics with us, we've got three guests. Rubett Garcia is director for Special Olympics Arizona. Larry Marek is a coach, and with him is Lily Bassett.
Good
Good
morning. How
morning.
y'all
Hi.
doing?
Good morning.
Hi everyone, good
Good. How are
morning.
you? Good morning.
Doing good. Welcome to the show, and thanks for coming on and being with us this morning.
Thanks for having us. We're really appreciative to be here.
Yeah, it's such an honor. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. Could you, all three of you, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you came to being so interested and enamored with Special Olympics Arizona?
Again, my name's Rebecca Garcia. I'm the Mountain and Northern Monument Area Director. I oversee the teams and delegations and programs for Northern Arizona. I hold the competitions that all of the teams come to. So for youth, we serve ages 8 years old, and we have athletes in their 60s and 70s. I'm here today with Larry and Lily, a coach with the Sonala Middle School team and a unified partner. I'm going to let them kind of talk about themselves, obviously.
Thank you so much, Rubett. Hi everyone. My name is Larry Marek. I've been involved with Special Olympics for about 8 years now. And I got involved first through my teaching job in Flagstaff. And, it's amazing to work with these athletes, and we get to try a bunch of different sports such as bocce ball, swimming, floor hockey, even cross country skiing, and it's a lot of fun. And this past year, actually, I got to work with Lily here, and I'll give her a chance to introduce herself, and then we'll kind of go into how we worked together this past year.
I'm Lily. I'm a unified partner, and I've done cheer with Special Olympics and basketball.
That's cool. That's real cool. I know we had a therapeutic recreation program through the city of Flagstaff some years ago. And then I used to help out and I used to coach with Special Olympics and everything. And, our season, you have something in the spring, summer, fall, and of course, winter if you're doing stuff. You probably just came off the summer games where you do more track and field and all that type of stuff. And now you're probably getting ready to go into bocce ball. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the events that you're doing?
So we serve, and the state of Arizona is divided into 6 areas. Right now, Larry and I and Lily were part of the mountain area, which is mostly Northern Arizona. And most of the most of the state, we start out with fall sports with swimming, bocce. We have softball in some areas. Moving into winter sports, floorball, floor hockey. Let's see, the winter sports, cross country. We're kind of trying to bring that one back. This is our first year back with that one after about 2 or 3 years. We have alpine skiing, snowshoes, kind of big. We also, that moves us into the spring where we have basketball, cheerleading, track and field, and it's just a busy year because of the heat. We do take a hiatus during the summer, so our seasons kind of align with the semesters of the school. I know Larry and Sanawa bowling, we do that in the fall as well.
Yeah.
I know Sanawa is coming back. They usually participate in swimming, and bocce is a big one. I do 2 area competitions. I'll do a youth bocce tournament and then a big area tournament for all the teams. Our bocce tournament that's coming up is Tuesday, September 26th, and we'll run about 18 courts in 9 schools from all of Northern Arizona. That includes Sonawa Middle School. And then we also have swimming. Those are the people that attend one of the area competitions that qualifies them to go to our state competitions. Our state competition, the first one is in the fall. Mid-October, it's going to be bocce and swimming. Larry, do you want to tell them a little bit about unified bocce and then kind of go into unified cheer? What's been going on there?
Yeah, of course. So, Coach, you're exactly right. We have just started our bocce ball practices, and we are actually out there, I think, for the second time yesterday. And, you know, we're kind of lucky being in Flagstaff because the weather is so nice in the morning. It's not really that hot. So we set up our courts. And what's cool about bocce is that the size of the court that we use is very similar to the lines on the football field. So that's how we're able to kind of, you know, play within the official rules of the game and everything. So our athletes are practicing, they're loving it. We're showing them, you know, proper techniques and that kind of, and how to throw the ball and stuff. And it's really awesome to see. So we're excited for that. And, you know, these events come up so quick. It's like you practice and then all of a sudden it's like in the next week. So we're really excited. And go ahead, Rubett.
I was just going to say one thing about bocce and Snow is really great with this. It's a sport for all ability levels. So we have a lot of our athletes that will use a ramp to help put the ball on the court. And I know Sonawa has several ability levels, and this is something where all the athletes can compete in. So that's a nice thing. And we have a skill level for every sport we do, which is for maybe lower ability athletes or maybe they can't run a full court. They're able to do skills at basketball, which is drills as a competition.
So as you're saying that with the different levels and stuff like that and abilities, will you just explain it a little bit so that people understand, you know,
Sure.
the different levels and abilities? And when you say it's all abilities, could you just explain that a little bit?
Sure. So we serve all ability levels, meaning that people that are highly competitive to all the way down to athletes that might not have that much mobility or if they have multiple disabilities. So for example, when we have our basketball tournament, we'll do a skills competition for maybe those athletes that don't feel comfortable running full court, or we'll do a 3-on-3 half court tournament. I know Sonawa Middle School participates in the half court. It's 3-a-side basketball. If they cannot compete in any of the running part of basketball, we have the skills competition where we run them through drills. And it's depending on the level that we're doing for basketball skills. It's 3 skills we'll rate them through. And that gives them people that might have or athletes that have a lower ability an opportunity to still compete. And we will base the ratings off the drills and how they receive the awards. So every competition we do that might be a team sports. So for soccer or volleyball or floorball or basketball or track and field, even we have lower, that's what the skills competitions are for. For track and field, we have wheelchair races, we have assisted walking events. For swimming, we have flotation races. We have walking events also with swimming, so it just depends on the ability level of the athlete. And if we're swimming, it's small. Well, even track and field, we'll have a 15-meter races. We have 25-meter races. The goal is to, if they're able to build up the athletes to be able to compete at their level, and maybe hopefully later on, not hopefully, but if they're able to move on to a sport, maybe compete in the 50-meter later on. Or so we want to make sure that everybody's able to compete at all levels.
Yeah, nice.
That's awesome, Rubett. And I think that's kind of where my role comes in as a coach, with these daily practices. And we're kind of seeing each of these athletes and meeting them where they are with their ability level, encouraging them. And I want to bring in our athlete oath, actually, which is let me win. But if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. So it's all about trying your best, being brave, and just giving it your all. And when you're at these events, it's awesome to cheer and see their parents, and it's just a really positive and uplifting experience, really.
And whenever we have a competition, we have the national anthem. Right after the national anthem, we always have the athlete oath, so it's part of the whole opening ceremonies at our competitions.
I was telling you before the show that I'm the big high school guy around town. You mentioned some of your upcoming events being at Coconino High School and Sonoma Middle School. How cooperative are the local schools in terms of letting you use their facilities and volunteering?
They've been amazing. Flagstaff Unified School District has been very generous. They give us the facilities in kind to use, or at a very low cost for nonprofit to use their facilities. And same with Chino Valley High School and Chino Valley Unified School District. We have our floorball tournament there, and they give us the facility in kind. For Flagstaff Unified School District, we're able to hold the youth swim competition, youth bocce, or youth basketball tournament there. As we grow, we're hoping to build those relationships and expand. But all the school districts have been very generous in letting us use their facilities in kind for competitions. It's been a great partnership. And just also for our adult delegations that go to the big area tournaments, they're able to provide those facilities, especially in Flagstaff with the weather, for all our delegations to practice at their facilities at a low rate as well. And it's been very generous.
Nice.
Yeah, and within each of these schools, Chino Valley and Cocoa, Sinawa, like you mentioned, the volunteers are a big part of the events, and it's awesome to see. For example, I know like at Coconino, we've had the student council come out and volunteer at bocce ball,
and Link Club.
The Link leadership class came out and helped, and a few of their sports teams actually I think have come out and helped too. So it's awesome to get that interaction of peer, from athlete to athlete, and getting that encouragement. And I believe that's how Lily started. She began as a volunteer for cheerleading and basketball, and then she decided she wanted to become a unified partner, which is
that's one of the things I was gonna ask Lily is how she got started. And when you say unified, could you guys explain what is being a unified partner when somebody comes in and joins? So Lily, can you tell us a little bit about how and why you got involved, and then any coaches, if y'all want to explain to the viewers what unified is?
So let me really quick set up what unified is, and Lily, you're going to explain about being a unified partner. So Special Olympics Arizona moving forward we're about inclusion. So it's people with and without intellectual disabilities competing together. Somebody that has an intellectual disability, they are an athlete. If they are a unified partner, they're neurotypical or do not have an intellectual disability, and they compete on teams together. So for example, if we have five-a-side basketball, 3 people on the court will have intellectual disability. 2 people on the court would be a unified partner like Lily. Lily took part as a unified partner, and I'm going to let her explain some of the sports she's done and how it's impacted her.
So I started Special Olympics for my brother. So he's been in it for couple of years since middle school, I think. And so I thought that it was really cool because he did all these sports. And so I talked to Miss Sharp and I just figured it out. And so I've done cheerleading for Sonola and then basketball also for Sonola and then for Special Olympics, Arizona, cheerleading also.
That's real cool.
And yeah, can you talk about like how you work with the athletes?
So
Like with cheerleading, how you help, and then basketball too.
so I usually just like with basketball, I would get the ball and then I would pass it to them so they can work on like shooting and making it, and just even if they don't make it, just cheer them on and support them throughout the way.
Have you made some strong friendships with this program, Lily, in unified
Yeah.
sport, lasting relationships?
So many.
Yeah. And then how is it? It's teaches you about breaking those barriers down, huh? And just looking at people for being people, and that's what's most important.
Yeah.
And where you got to go where with Larry this year?
We got to
As
go
unified.
to cheer on the World Games.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I know, I believe we have a live question that Russell's going to come in because we are live, and I think we have a live question. But after that, we do want to talk about some stuff like when you qualify from the local to the state, I don't know, it's national, world, so on and so forth. We like to talk some of that, but we're going to throw it to Russell right now.
Yeah, we got a question on YouTube. Thank you, viewers, for giving us questions. We love this being interactive. The more we get involved, the more fun this is for everybody. Question is, how were the Berlin Games? It was so great to see the opening ceremonies. I was going to ask this question too, kind of. Do we ever see any of our local kids competing on a national, or in this case, an international level, maybe even making it to the Berlin Games?
So we did have it because it's a little different with the USA Games versus the World Games. It's not traditional like with the Olympics. You compete local to qualify for state, regional, and then national. With Special Olympics for USA Games, which were in Florida last summer, I believe last summer. There's a lot of games in my brain right now. We do a kind of to make it fair and open for everyone. We get slotted for, say, a softball team. And then to open it up to make sure all of Arizona is represented, we had tryouts for that softball team from all over the state. And whoever gets picked for that softball team, they have to be, I believe the ages are 16 and older to compete at USA level games and World Games. So you'll have somebody from Casa Grande or somebody from Tucson, 2 people from Northern Arizona, and they all compose the Arizona team from the tryouts. Then as the games for USA Games gets closer, they'll practice all over the state and rotate locations to make sure everybody's traveling to get to the practice. And they become a unit representing Arizona. Then that team, after they're done practicing, goes on to USA Games. So that's how we do the national level games. With World Games, it's similar. We want to be able to represent all of Arizona, but because the USA is such a big country, again, we're slotted. We put in for what sports we want to compete at, whether it's World Summer Games or we just had, again, Summer Games, World Games in Berlin. Over 150 countries from all over the world went to World Games. But because it's the USA is, or the United States is so big, we'll put in for certain sports that we want to compete in, which we did 3 half-court basketball this time, unified team. And we have to make sure, again, that we're representing all of Arizona. So what we'll do is we'll do tryouts for the team, compose the team of people from all over Arizona, and hopefully get representation from mountain area, from Eastern Arizona, Western Arizona, and they make the team together. And again, leading up to the games, they hold practices and then they'll go to Berlin together. Larry and Lily did something special. It's called SO Cheer, where they weren't competing in cheerleading, but they put a team together from Flagstaff fundraise, and they got to go to cheer on everybody at Berlin Games. So it's a little different. It's not a competition that's going out to support all the teams, not just Team USA, but people from all over the world.
That's cool.
But
And how was that experience for you two?
Oh man, it was crazy,
awesome.
right? Yeah, it was awesome. So, exactly like Rubett said, we were participants within SO Cheer, and so it was up to us to decide who was on our team, right, and the athletes and like how many, and we really had to look at logistics and the money. And thankfully, we kind of took a smaller group. It was our first time going, and Darian, who is, with SO Cheer, was very helpful with the whole process. And no, we started from the ground up, right, Lily? We booked our tickets, the hotel, and we're just so fortunate that our community and Flagstaff was so supportive, and not only, giving us advice about traveling and, just offering that kind of support, financial support as well. We had a lot of people who were helping us, and shout out to Coconino High School because they were gracious enough to allow us to sell some concessions every now and then, at the games, and that was really popular. And yep, we did a lot of fundraising, right, Lily? So it happened this last summer in June. We flew out of Flagstaff to Dallas, to London, and then to Berlin. So that was a journey. It took about a full calendar day to do just the traveling. And so we were in the heart of Berlin. Thankfully, we had enough time to see the touristy sites and all of the awesome architecture and stuff. But when we were there at the events, we got to see the opening ceremony. And then our job was, we had cheerleaders from all over the United States, and we were going to these different venues, and we were cheering on the athletes that were competing. So, we would have to go use the public transportation in Berlin, which was a lot of fun. Getting to these venues, which were in the historical, like the Messi Berlin, the Olympic Stadium, Neptune Fountain. So that was kind of cool to be all around that. And we actually got to meet the Arizona 3-on-3 basketball team. And so we got an awesome picture. I can either screenshot or just share it with y'all. But that was really cool to kind of, feel a little slice of home for the Arizona team. We were like really.
We always say bring the dry heat.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing we did not expect was it was very hot and humid. In Arizona, it's just a dry heat. So that
It
was
is a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
I know when we had USA games in Florida last summer, it was just, our team was just so overwhelmed with the humidity. We were bringing signs that said bringing the dry heat, but they're not used to that humidity in Florida. I guess it was kind of rough but fun at the same time for our team. But
yeah, people don't understand that actually aren't from here. When you talk about a dry heat, it really is a difference between the Phoenix heat and like the South heat, whether it's Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Mississippi. So it's definitely a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. And, just kind of going back to what we were discussing earlier, we made a lot of connections with different athletes. We worked with a cheer squad from Japan and Coach Atsuko and their athletes. And we were partnered with a team from Illinois, right? The Illinois team, and we kind of worked with them. And so it was awesome to just kind of make those connections. And we also got to meet a lot of international athletes from like Ireland, Puerto Rico, Germany. Yeah. So it was just very insane. And, we try to practice our German as much as possible, but I think that was kind of the fun part, was the translation. And, thankfully we kind of all had these songs that we were practicing, and we all knew the same routines. It was just a matter of organizing ourselves to be able to, be in sync. And once the athletes heard the songs, it was pretty easy. And then after the first few performances, we got it down pat. And one of the most cool things, actually, we got to meet the mascot Unity, which was a giant heart. And that was at one of the days we did roller skating. So
Nice.
yeah, and what's cool about the World Games is that they have all of these sports that aren't really, I guess mainstream in the United States. For example, floorball is really popular in Germany and kind of these other countries. And roller skating, right, was really
cool.
popular. It was like the athletes had on these like really expensive looking like skates and the helmets and stuff. So it was awesome to be able to, see the athletes also competing there too.
Nice.
I gotta hear just a little bit of German, a little bit of that song, if you're up for it. Just like 10 seconds. I just gotta hear a little bit of it.
Oh my God, the song. No, I just know like Neputin Fountain, Cloister Dam. Those were just the subway stops that we remember. There was,
Okay.
I know. So there was one, Russell. There was one song that was assigned to just like the routines, and it was like a German song. And at first, it took us a minute to get our routine and our arm movements and stuff. And we didn't really think it was gonna be like a popular thing. But when we performed that song, oh man, the audience and the crowd went wild. It was like, they were hearing like the Beatles or like some crazy like mainstream band. And we were just like, what's going on? We can't even like understand the lyrics, but it was great. Yeah, it was awesome.
I heard Rubett slip in the word fundraising a couple minutes ago. Is there any fundraising events you'd like to plug? And I know fundraising is an ongoing experience within Special Olympics. You got anything going on locally that we can participate in?
We do on Saturday, September 9th, out at the Peak Senior Living Facility. We have Bear Aspen Festival going on. They can come out and experience some good local food and some stuff out there. A silent auction will be going on. Tickets can be bought online at bearaspen.com. They can reach out to our website, specialolympics.arizona.org, for more information as well. And it's kind of, we have our polar plunge that'll happen in January. A lot of good stuff coming up. All the events is listed on our website as well, specialolympics.arizona.org, under the events tab. And we have volunteer opportunities too. There's many ways you can serve and give back.
And I was just going to touch on that a little bit. It's always a great opportunity to volunteer, and that can look a lot of different ways. I know a lot of these coaches and head of delegations around the state in Arizona, working in the schools and out of the schools. They're always looking for volunteers to help. We had parents helping us with just transportation and snacks, and even like Coach Johnson, I know you were mentioning that you were coaching at one point, and it's always great to get someone who's been coaching for years and getting that expertise, just even for a few practices. It's always great to get a lot of help. So in that way, it's always good to kind of reach out to your local Special Olympics organizations around where you live, and just to see kind of what the needs are. Maybe they're looking for coaches, maybe they're looking, maybe for a little financial help, but it's always good to kind of see what the need is, right?
And they're more than welcome to reach out to me individually too. It's my email, rubett@soaz.org, for any information. I am here to support with whatever's needed, to direct them to the volunteer information on our website as well. And yeah, we would love to, like Larry said, you can volunteer in many different ways. We also have a local area leadership council or area leadership fund that we have influential business leaders, maybe some politicians and local law enforcement that get together every few months to help create fundraisers, think of ways to help like the Bear Aspen fundraiser, just ways that they can help out and ways that we can reach out to the community more and how we can get more people involved and bring awareness about the mission of Special Olympics and Special Olympics Arizona.
That's great. Well, we're at the point of the show where we're starting to wrap things up, and we always wrap things up with Danny Neal going da 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 and presenting the golden nugget question of the day. And I think this time around we're going to hand it off to our viewers because they gave us another question, and this is a good one to the golden nugget question type, just kind of a overall kind of insight question. How can people help support Special Olympics in Northern Arizona? How could someone like me who has a general interest in Special Olympics, who might have a little money or might have a little extra time, how can we support you?
Volunteer. I am, when I go out to run a competition or hold youth bocce, I'm staff out there, but we can't do what we do without the support of our volunteers. It's 99% volunteers out there. They're an integral part of everything we do. I may be out there organizing the event, but it's wonderful to have the community involved, helping. They can help with staging at track, with running stopwatches, just coming out to help set up for the event. Even on a local level, if they want to get more heavily involved and not just be an event volunteer, which is coming out for the day, they could be a coach with Sonawa Middle School or one of our local delegations like Coconino alumni. If, say, they graduate college and they were on their volleyball team or on their softball team, and they went, or track and field at NAU, which, by the way, I'm a lumberjack. When they leave college and they want to be involved with track and field, volunteer with the Coconino alumni delegation, Flagstaff Mountaineers delegation, maybe volunteer with Sonawa Middle School during their school time to help be a coach of track and field. There's many ways to get involved. Fundraising opportunities, being part of that area leadership council. There's so many levels of different fundraising. Again, we have event volunteers, which are volunteers that come out for the day. Larry, how can they get involved with Sonawa Middle School, for example?
So, there's always the paperwork and all of the background checks and that kind of thing, just because we are with the public school district. But after that, just reaching out and putting your feelers out there and seeing what's available, who's coaching. And like I said, just kind of asking what the needs are. Maybe, if you don't have, if you're, the financial is not there, maybe you could help with the fundraiser and be someone who, like what we did, we made a bunch of nachos and hot dogs. Maybe you could be the person, pouring the cheese, because it's a job, and all jobs are important. They're helpful. And I was also going to mention, Rubett, do you guys, you're selling the license plates, right, for SOAZ?
Yes. So if you wanted to support on, say you just want to drive around and support and advertise about Special Olympics, we have a Play Unified plate. I'm not sure about the cost. I believe it's $27 to get the plate. It's a specialty plate, and a certain amount of that money comes back to Northern Arizona, or you can specify it to go towards a delegation. I think it's $20 from that plate goes back to support the delegation. But but I think volunteering is really important. Like Larry said, if you're becoming more involved as a volunteer, you'd be considered a Class A volunteer. And we require a little bit more paperwork just to protect the athletes and everybody involved. But it's worth it. It's once you start volunteering, it's very addictive. People are hooked. And that's a good thing. It is. We lost a lot of our long-time volunteers when we had to do the hiatus because of COVID. And being in a rural communities, it's been a little bit harder to recruit volunteers. So if you are interested, we would really love to have you volunteer and be coaches. And you can be an adult unified partner competing with the Coconino alumni. And there's a lot of opportunities to to be a part of Special Olympics in all levels.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for the information. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Go out and support Special Olympics. I mean, like I said, when I did it, it was always fun, and it's a special time. And these athletes are truly athletes, and you, like I said, you see different levels. And so, thank you guys so much for being with us today. And best of luck coming up with these fall games and everything.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for having Larry and Lily and I on today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,
thank
Coach.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, as the one person in this group who hasn't been associated with Special Olympics, I appreciate you coming on and educating me a little bit, and I'm hoping that between me and some of the others that have been watching this show, we get a little more interest. I know every little bit helps, every dollar helps, every volunteer helps, and I wish you guys the best.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for the support.
All right, good stuff. Hey, that's another one in the books. That was a good one there, Russell.
Yeah, a little better every day. I mean, we get guests, young, old athletes, coaches, Special Olympics, counselors. We get everybody in here.
Yeah, we do, and that's the whole thing of this show. So if you like what we doing, make sure you subscribe. I think we was at like 199. I want to see who's gonna get us over to the 200 mark, and make sure you tell a friend, like it, and then when we're on, do like they did today and ask questions. That makes it better, makes it more interactive. And so share this feed, share this fifth quarter AZ.
Yeah, here in a little while, I'm going to be posting this on Facebook, and I hope we get a good conversation going about not just the show, but Special Olympics and other things that we can be involved in around town. It's we're all of us are spectators on one level or another. Some of us get more involved. I mean, you've been coaching at Flank High for almost 20 years now. But I'm just a mailman. I do my flat cocoa thing, but I like looking for opportunities to get a little more involved and to help out a little bit. Shows like this is how you get the conversation going, and you never know who sees this show and says, that's what I want to start doing on my weekends, when I have free time. Maybe this is the counts that gets somebody off their duff on the weekends and making a difference.
Yep. Go out and support, go out and volunteer. Absolutely. Well, what you got going the rest of the day?
I got a 3-day weekend, and this is the weekend I gotta get all my Flank Coca preseason stuff done. I've got Coconino's Black Book done. This weekend I'll be doing the online version of Bob Oberhart's Eagles on the Mountain. That should be out next week. And then 168 hours from now, I'll be in town for a football doubleheader.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff. Definitely sound like you got a busy weekend, but then look forward to football opening up and you jumping in.
Exactly, because that's what I do.
Yep. All right.
That's what made me famous.
Yep. We appreciate everybody joining us today. Look here, I don't know what everybody else got to do out there, but I do know one thing. You ain't got to go home,
but you can't stay here.